Uh, Hello friends, I am Dharmik Joshi from Vishwakarma Government Engineering College, Chankheda. I am a student of second semester EC branch, and I am now going to take a short interview of Mr. Dr. Parth Mankad. Hello Mr. Mankad. Sir, first of all, will you please introduce yourself in your own words for the benefit of our audience?
Sure. I'm a practicing homeopath and having a homeopathic clinic, Dr. Mankad's Homeo Clinic, since now more than 10 years. And right from the beginning of the career, I have always tried to give the medicine in a way that it works effectively in a shortest period possible. So that a person can get rapidly treated with the help of the homeopathic medicine. And the medicines are absolutely harmless. So this is something which I like the most about homeopathy. So this is how I practice since more than 10 years, and along with homeopathy, I also try to integrate the other wellness therapies like music therapy in my practice. So this is how I work.
Why the idea of choosing homeopathy as a profession come to your mind, despite the fact that people prefer more to allopathy, and why should one opt for homeopathy?
It's very true that generally the people are thinking more about choosing allopathy as their treatment, and allopathy is having the excellent scope. We can't deny that allopathy is having excellent scope of treatment, but at the same time, as we know, even in your engineering field or even in the other field, we all know that everything is having its own scope and its own limitations. So there is one limitation of allopathy, and that is allopathy can treat the disease but cannot treat a person who is having the disease. That is a constitutional treatment, which we term it as a constitutional treatment. So that is not possible with allopathy, but the alternative sciences like Ayurveda and homeopathy both are having the scopes that it can help a lot in treating a person's whole constitution, and that is also with the minimum possible side effects or almost no side effects. So that is the fundamental reason that even initially when I had chosen, I had two options of choosing Ayurveda and homeopathy as a career, but I have seen that nowadays you'll be probably happy to know that in the last year, World Health Organization (WHO) has given a report that homeopathy is world's second largest branch of medicine. Means first is the mainstream medicine, the allopathy, and the second is homeopathy. Is the immediate next choice of treatment in whole over the world. And fortunately in India it's blooming like anything. India has become one of the hub of the development of homeopathy. So fortunately I had a chance to get admission in homeopathy, and I had already seen the results. I remember once my mother had a severe herpes. I was very young at that time, and we all know Dr. Bhaskar, but he's a very senior homeopath, a very wonderful homeopath. And I remember that immediately we called him up and we told he had given her a few doses, and the burning and the whole of the papules of the herpes vanished just within the 10 days. So we have seen the beautiful improvement with the homeopathy already when I was studying in 7th, 8th standard. So I immediately opted homeopathy is the best branch, and I will still say that if the kids who have taken the B group should think that if MBBS they are not able to cope up with the MBBS, or if they are not able to enter into a mainstream medicine, one should choose homeopathy, and after taking a course of homeopathy they should opt for practicing homeopathy. Many times it happens that students go for homeopathy but then they practice something else. But it is advisable that if they actually practice homeopathy, homeopathy is having excellent expanded, extended scopes in the practice.
How did you start your professional career?
It's simple that I try to make myself as much as possible committed when I was studying. And right from beginning, fortunately, as your engineering is also the same field where you know that what are you going to do in your professional life. When one is doing a BBA, probably they are not clear very much what they need to do in future. But when we are in the medical field, we know I am going to be a doctor tomorrow. As you know, you are going to be an engineer tomorrow. So right from the initial days, there should be, as far as I feel, there should be a practical approach with the studies. Many times it happens, students get a wonderful mark in the university exams, but the same student don't know that where to fit which screw in which machine. Then it's the books are going to give nothing to it. So the idea is that practical approach was there, fortunately, right from initial days in my mind. I was fortunate enough, I got a wonderful support from various senior people, like Dr. Bhaskar or Dr. Dinesh Chauhan or Dr. Samir. There are a lot of people around here in Ahmedabad, in Mumbai, and also a few doctors out of India as well. So I got a lot of knowledge from all of them. And then I started with my clinic. And fortunately, results speak. So as the patient started improving, gradually the OPD started developing. So that is how I started my career.
How does or on what concept does the homeopathy work, and how it is different from the other ways of medicine?
It's very, very important question. Homeopathy works on the simple basis, and that is termed as we term it as a samah shamam shamayati. ઝેરનું મારણ ઝેર ગુજરાતીમાં એવું કહેવાય, હિન્દીમાં એવું કે લોહા લોહે કો કાટતા है. So a similar thing which can produce certain symptoms are actually the cure of certain symptoms. I'll give you one simple example. આપણને ક્યારે કંઈ પણ વાગે, whenever we have any kind of injuries, what we apply first?
Soframycin.
So if even if it is not there with us, and if we want to go into a kitchen, what we do? Saliva, very good. Other is turmeric, very good. Hardar, simple. Now, very interestingly, when we have given turmeric to a lot of people, ingestible turmeric to a lot of people who were not having any kind of bleeding, they started bleeding. So the same turmeric actually creates bleeding. But when it is given to a person who is bleeding, it stops bleeding. So this is not a single case. We have seen in thousands of cases. So what happened, Dr. Samuel Frederick Hahnemann, who was a founder of homeopathy, what happened is he has read once a statement that cinchona can cure malaria because it is bitter. तो then it was not clear in his mind कि यार कोई चीज कड़वी है तो कड़वी तो दुनिया में हजारों चीजें, there are thousands of things which are bitter. Why only cinchona treats malaria? So it was not clearer in his mind. So what he did is he started taking cinchona juice every day. Cinchona is a taj kind of thing in kitchen. So he started taking cinchona juice every day. And then what interestingly he had seen so far is that he started developing a vomiting and fever every alternate day. And then he came to conclusion that cinchona can cure malaria, not because it is bitter, but because if it in a healthy state, if it is taken, it can produce malaria. So this is how a birth of homeopathy came in. And then when he has seen a lot of, he did a lot of experiment. He experimented for more than 7 years. It is very important even for you, the people like you who are in engineering, कि हम लोगों को जब कुछ भी आइडिया आ जाता है ना, कुछ भी मिल जाता है, अपन कोई पण नवो कंसेप्ट मन में आवे, we immediately see કે यार चलो आने मार्केट में મૂકી દઈએ. If you make a electric car, you immediately start dreaming કે ક્યારે BMW વાળા આપણી પાસે આવીને આપણી પાસે એન્જિનિયરિંગ આ પેટન્ટ આપણને લઈ જાય તો આપણને આવું એક કન્સેપ્ટ આપી દે. It's not that. We need a lot of He experimented for 7 years. And after 7 years of full experience, he came to conclusion that this is not true for only one case. It's true for all the cases, that whatever it can produce, it can cure. So homeopathy is based on that, number one. Number two is that it is a believer of a minimum dose. Means if I need to give you a one spoon of medicine, we make a kind of process. It is termed as process of potentization. We make a kind of process that it becomes so effective that even 1 spoon diluted in a way that I give it for the 2 months, then also it can cure your any disease, even cancer. Just 1 spoon of medicine. And this is the secret that why homeopathy is never doing any kind of side effects. So homeopathy is absolutely harmless, and homeopathy medicines are always made up from the natural substances. No synthetic substances are being used, and it is based on this concept. So this is the difference between the homeopathy and the rest of the branches.
What type of, or rather we can say, what kind of patients come to you for treatment?
Generally, the patients who have never been treated in the other branches. Right from the, just when you came in, before that there was a kid in the waiting area. Now that kid is a 7 years old kid, and the kid was having a problem of tonsillitis right from the birth, because birth के time पे उसको ऐसा liquid चला गया था. I am speaking in English because you don't medical terminology को शायद आपको you don't know that. So birth के time पे उसको ऐसा liquid चला गया था जिसके कारण उसको throat में infection होता रहता है. तो वो बच्ची 1 दिन की थी, तब से लेके आज वो 7 साल की हुई. So now the doctors told that there are no antibiotics now which we can give more higher than this one. She is already very much in low immunity. So only solution is you go for an operation. आप tonsil ही निकाल. So then generally these patients who need operations, who are not being treated even after all of the medicines, the patients कि जो डॉक्टर बोलते हैं कि अब आप उसको भूल जाओ, उसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता. जैसे कैंसर पेशेंट्स जिसमें कीमोथेरेपी की वजह से प्लेटलेट्स वगैरह कम हो गए, तो डॉक्टर बोलते हैं कि अब हम ना तो इसको कीमोथेरेपी दे सकते हैं और ना तो हमारे पास कोई और चारा है. सो यू नाउ गो, आप जितने दिन तक रहे. सो एंड फॉर्चुनेटली वी आर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ that we can see such critical cases and we can give a kind of results which actually creates a hope in the patients, and fortunately they improve later.
Okay. If a person needs instant relief from any pain or a disease, then how is homeopathy effective? Because homeopathy doesn't provide instant cure as in allopathy, as I've heard of.
But it is only heard, it's not truth. Fortunately, homeopathic medicines are working as fast or as effective or as rapidly effective as the allopathy or any other branch of medicine works. So it's not there. The belief has happened because generally patient comes to us when all the rest of the branches are getting failed. तो बंदा आता ही है हमारे पास 15 साल पुराना डिजीज लेके. जैसे कि ये बच्ची, अब ये बच्ची जब 2 दिन की थी तब किसी होम्योपैथ को पकड़ा होता और बोला होता कि इसको दवाई दो, तो इसको साथ साथ चला ही नहीं होता ये tonsillitis. Are you getting the point? Yes. But when she is having a 7-year-old tonsillitis, obviously I'll need 6 to 8 months to get herself completely immune. So it is, homeopathy is not slow, but because generally people prefer homeopathy for chronic diseases, that's why we feel that it works very slow.
Sir, I heard that you give the music therapy also. So can you just give a brief idea about it?
See, music is having an immense potential to create the changes in the outside environment. Like we know very well कि बंदा मल्हार गाता है तो बारिश आने लगती है, या तो we know very well कि तानसेन को जब बोला गया था कि आप म्यूजिक से क्या कर सकते हो, आप क्या दिया जला सकते हो, तो तानसेन ने ऐसा राग गाया जिसको राग दीपक बोला जाता है. ऐसा राग गाया कि पूरे अकबर के महल में दिए जल गए विदाउट गिविंग वन स्पार्क. या तो इवन इन फ्यू इंग्लिश मूवीज यू माइट हैव सीन कि इतना जोर से बंदा चिल्लाता है तो बंदा सामने वाला का पूरा एक बिल्ली कट जाती है. देयर इज वन कुंफू, सो उस समय वो सीन था. देयर आर आल्सो अदर लॉट ऑफ एग्जांपल्स लाइक सिंपल यूएसजी बंदा करता है. हम लोग कुछ भी होता है तो सोनोग्राफी करते हैं. व्हाट इज द यूएस फुल फॉर्म ऑफ यूएसजी? अल्ट्रा साउंड ग्राफी. इट्स एक्चुअली अ साउंड वेव्स ऑफ अ सर्टेन फ्रीक्वेंसी यूएसजी में, कि जो एक्चुअली साउंड वेव्स है लेकिन सर्टेन वो ऑडिबल नहीं है. लेकिन वो सोनोग्राफी वो जब अल्ट्रासाउंड से होती है, उस साउंड वेव से होती है, तो वो पूरा अंदर का पिक्चर लेके दे सकते हैं वो वेव्स. आप तो फिजिक्स के बंदे, यू नो वेरी वेल, इंजीनियरिंग पीपल, दैट व्हाट इट्स म्यूजिक इज नथिंग बट अ वेव्स विद अ सर्टेन फ्रीक्वेंसी. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? अब सर्टेन फ्रीक्वेंसी, अब उस फ्रीक्वेंसी को मैं ऐसे जान जाऊं कि मेरे को ऐसी फ्रीक्वेंसी प्रोड्यूस करनी है जो ब्रेन में जाके सर्टेन सेंटर को जाके टच कर दे। गेट इन द पॉइंट? ब्रेन में वेव्स होते हैं, अल्फा वेव्स, बीटा वेव्स, गामा वेव्स, थीटा वेव्स, तो मेरे को सिर्फ वो रेजोनेंस क्रिएट करना है। इट्स फिजिक्स। रेजोनेंस क्रिएट करना है कि बॉडी के अंदर ऐसा चेंज हो जो बंदे के अंदर डिजीज प्रोड्यूस करता हो। सो द मोमेंट वी डू दैट, इट वर्क्स एज अ थेरेपी और एज अ मेडिसिन इन पेशेंट्स। So music is actually nothing but a right use of physics actually, right? Yes, we give it in a therapy. जैसे कि कोई बच्चे हैं जो ADHD हाइपर हो जाते हैं, तो उनको हम लोग थेरेपी देते हैं. Just we are communicating with the one very renowned cancer hospitals where we are going to tie up with them. So we are going to give them a music therapy for the patients who are working with a chemotherapy. तो वह टेकिंग कीमो, तो कीमोथेरेपी के दौरान बंदे को नोजिया होने लगता है, गिरने लगता है, बहुत वीकनेस आ जाती है, तो म्यूजिक गिव्स अ लाइफ, राइट? सो व्हेनेवर वी गिव अ राइट काइंड ऑफ म्यूजिक टू अ पर्सन इज गेटिंग द होल वाइटलिटी बैक. आदमी की वापस जीने की क्षमता बढ़ जाती है. तो वो सारी चीजें विच वी अप्लाई, स्टिल इट्स इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिसर्च मोर देन इन एप्लीकेशन. लेकिन जैसे नींद है, music works like best therapy for the sleep. So we try to, still it's in the process of research. I'll say कि अभी और बहुत सारा काम कर रहा है, but yes, I'll give a message that Indian classical music is having an immense potential in itself, and it's a comprehensive work जिनमें हम जैसे म्यूजिक थेरेपिस्ट चाहिए होंगे, एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर्स जो हैं वो चाहिए होंगे, रिसर्च एनालिस्ट जो होते हैं वो चाहिए होंगे, और खास करके आप जैसे इंजीनियर्स चाहिए होंगे जो वो उस टाइप का साउंड, उस टाइप की फ्रीक्वेंसी को साइंटिफिकली प्रोड्यूस कर पाए. ये सारी चीजें जब होगी तब म्यूजिक एज अ थेरेपी पूरी डेवलप होगी. और फ्यूचर में ऐसा होगा कि चलो आपको कोई भी एंटीबायोटिक लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप फलाना राग सुन लो या बादशाह का ये गाना सुन लो. वी होप कि ऐसा हो, बट इट विल वर्क इन अ वे.
Sir, last but not the least, any message you want to give to the audience?
The only message I feel, I'm in the field of health, so I'll give the message in two dimensions. One dimension is in the dimension of health first, that please believe in a healthy lifestyle, that right amount of exercise, right amount of music listening, reading of the books which gives you a healthy thoughts, good thoughts, and early waking and early night sleeping, and most importantly, as much as possible, less use of a food which contains preservatives, which contains lot of amount of bread, lot of amount of maida. A good healthy food for body, and a good healthy food for mind in the form of music and reading. If you will just do that along with the exercise, you will remain healthy. So one needs to be in a healthy state. Automatically a range of diseases will go down. So please try to live as healthy as possible. That's my first message. And the other message is that as you all are the students, and especially you are the student, my fundamental idea is that please value your own field, number one. Number two is please value the premises in which you are studying. Generally we feel that the premises, हमें हमारी कॉलेज से ज्यादा औरों की कॉलेज अच्छी लगती है. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इट हैपेंस. या तो हमें हमारे फील्ड से ज्यादा और फील्ड अच्छे लगते हैं कि काश में ये हुआ. इट्स नॉट ट्रू. द रियलिटी इज इट्स ओनली योर कमिटमेंट towards your field, towards your premises, and your valuation to that field and premises is going to give you the real value of life. So please value your field and premises. And most important, the last message what I would like to give is always give more importance to learning than earning. Earning should always be a byproduct. Learning should be a primary product in the whole of the life. If you will keep these things in your attitude, I'm sure that you will succeed, and you will also contribute something. The definition of success is you contribute something to the society for the next generations. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.